Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. And the thing I've been doing this summer is going outside and taking a video or a picture of the sky just because I don't know, like it looks cool and like the Arizona sunsets are really pretty and I just like the way the sky looks. However, weather scares me a lot. Like I now get panic attacks whenever, the weather's very, very bad. And like I said, I went out to take pictures. My husband was off today, so I called my husband over and I was like, hey babe, let's just go outside and look at the sky real quick. And on one end of the sky was completely beautiful. It looks like the heavens. And then on the other side, it was completely pitch black, dark clouds, ominous looking. And I was like, God, that doesn't look good. Like that looks like pretty bad. I hope it's not another tornado. A few years ago, we actually had a mini tornado hit our neighborhood. And in my 34 years, I've never experienced a tornado. And that was actually really traumatic for me. And I don't know, like whenever like we get really bad weather here, I just get really, really anxious, like to the brink of crying, and it's terrible. Because like when you're like in your house, like your safe space, and you hear like wind and rain and hail hitting all the windows in your house, and the window's really strong, and you feel your house shake, that was like terrifying to me. So now whenever we get winds that are over 60 miles per hour, I start getting like a flight response to my body, and then the panic attack happens and I get really shaky, and it's like this whole thing. I'm trying to work on it, but while I was taking a video, a black sheet of dust comes towards us, and the winds were insane. They kind of reminded me of the winds when I got caught in that tornado, and I was like, oh my God, I hope we don't have another one. And like me and my husband ended up booking it inside, and basically we ended up in a dust storm. I inhaled a bunch of dust. We both got sand in our eyes. And normally we're not like tornado chasers or like weather chasers at all. I just thought maybe this isn't as severe, but I wanted to check it out myself, because like why am I getting 3 weather alerts within 5 minutes? Normally they give us 1 weather alert. And yeah, like I feel so stupid that I put ourselves in that situation. But I basically had to brush my teeth. I got sand all over my face. I inhaled sand, and I hope I don't get sick from it. I'm actually coming down from like a panic attack because I was trying to think like researching Facebook and researching like the neighborhood in our area, and like trying to figure out like should we hide in a bathroom. It's because it looked pretty ugly and the winds are pretty strong. They did die down a few moments ago, but like in the back of my mind I'm like freaking out, and I hate to be in this position, but I need to film a YouTube video. Like honestly, this whole week hasn't been the best. I feel like my anxiety has been like really bad. Let's just get into the video. I'm gonna try to calm down and focus on my YouTube video. I picked up the Bling Bubbles Bubbling Face Mask. So we're just gonna go ahead and open it up. Yeah, and in the midst of like running inside and we're both like a little frazzled, I put my headband. I don't know why. Like whenever I get panic attacks, I do like the dumbest things. Because your body is like in a flight response, so it maybe the other parts of your body don't work or something. So I ended up putting my headband on my porch on the little wood. Like I remember doing it, like I remember pulling it off, but like it's like what the hell? Like why did I do that? But yeah, I'll insert a clip here. I actually need to wash my face first, but I'm just gonna wash my face with my CeraVe hydrating oil. This is the oil I use like every day. And I love this because it really does make my face feel really nice. Now we're putting on that mask. And you know what? You really do get a bubbling effect. This is a bubbling face mask, which is so cool. Like, look at that. And it actually does have a little bit of a tingling sensation. But this is basically what it does. So it goes on clear. And as it touches your skin, it starts bubbling up. And then as you rub it in, it starts turning a little bit foamy. Yeah, it just smells like straight up grape. It smells exactly like that toner and hyaluronic acid serum that they have. So keep that in mind when you put this on. But oh my god, I love this. You can feel I feel like the longer it sits on my face, you get more bubbles and you get more intense tingling sensations. I don't notice any burning. It actually feels really nice. So this product is actually really thick and bubbles up even more as it sits on your face. But we're just going to let this sit on my face for about 10 minutes and I will be right back. As it dries, it kind of disappears a little bit, but I'm still getting that tingling sensation. So it is a little bit harder to wash off. I feel like you're better off just using a makeup remover or face towel, but you can see some residue right here. So we're gonna go back into my beauty room. Okay, now that my face is fully dried, this is what my skin looks like. So my face does feel a little bit tight. It does feel really smooth. And on the back it says, experience a deep cleanse and detoxification with this bubbling sheet mask. This innovative mask utilizes oxygenating bubbles to exfoliate the skin, unclog pores, and remove impurities, leaving your complexion refreshed and revitalized. And it did say to wash your face with warm water, but I actually use cold water. I actually really like this mask. I do feel like my face feels really clean. However, it does feel tight, and I don't know if it's because I naturally have dry skin, but it is a little tight. But I do feel like my skin looks really smooth and it feels really clean. And I actually do still have that grape scent on my face. So I would say for $1.25, you should check this out. So yeah, I think my face looks pretty good and I really like that mask. As far as like the packaging goes, I'm probably going to take this with me on my upcoming trip in September because the packaging is really nice and it's like really convenient. Like the tingling sensation, it was kind of like a tickling sensation, but it didn't make my face feel itchy, which I really like. So next I just use my face spray from Revive RX. And we're just gonna let that dry. So going back to talking about like, you know, anxiety around like bad weather. My husband is like the best thing ever. I love him so much. He like really comforts me whenever I'm having like really extreme anxiety. Like he's really calming. He like, I don't know, like he's just amazing. He's like, babe, you know, everything's gonna be fine. You know, if it does get to 80 miles per hour, because that's just an estimation, then, you know, we would have a plan to just like hide out in the bathroom. But I was like visibly like shaking, and I know that my body's reacting in like the flight response, and that's why it was sending warning signals to my brain, because that's what panic attacks are basically. And I hate like being like that, but that's just like how my body reacts to threat, I guess. But you know what? It is a little calmer outside. I'm not hearing the crazy wind like I was earlier. And one thing that I really love doing whenever I'm having a panic attack or I'm having like just like feeling high strung and stressed out, I will put on makeup. I will find something to focus on. You know, putting on makeup. I don't know, like coloring. Like I have a couple of adult coloring books. Sometimes I'll do that. I'll sit and paint, listen to a podcast, watch a YouTube video. Feeling really drained right now and absolutely exhausted. Yeah, I don't wish panic attacks on anyone. Not even my worst enemy. So for my skin toner today, I'm going to be using the Pore Patrol toner, and this is actually the same brand as that face mask I just used. And this one is also scented. This is a berry scent. So we're just gonna put that all over the face. On the back it says it's a clarifying toner which instantly freshens, smooth, plump, and glow your skin. After cleansing, pump a few drops onto a cotton pad and gently press. And it comes in a little pumps, and you just basically put your cotton pad on here and pump it out, which I really like this style of packaging. I feel like it's better than having a flip top container because I feel like it's just less of a mess. And then if it just so happened to spill over, it's not going to get anywhere because it's like closed. So I prefer this style. So I feel like the scent is a little weird. It has kind of like an old smell. Like it's not super gross, but I don't know. It just smells like cheap perfume to me, which I don't really like. And then for the rest of my skincare today, I'm going to be using the Global Beauty Care Snail Mucin Essence and the moisturizer. And going back to, I think it was like 2024. And you know what? I can't remember if I talked about this on my channel before. So if I did talk about this, let me know in the comments. I hate repeating myself, but I honestly can't remember if I talked about the tornado. Now that we have on that moisturizer, I'm going to be using the Splash Rose Jelly Eye Mask. And we're going to chill for 15 minutes while I talk about the scariest tornado experience of my life. And I normally wear them like right before a video, and I haven't really been filming as much recently because we've been really busy and I feel like life is kind of chaotic at the moment. We're supposed to go on a trip next month, and I've been doing like so much cleaning, and I originally wanted to film a nail video today, but I had to clip my nails because 2 of these nails broke completely. I do have low vitamin D, so my nails tend to break very easily because they're very thin. I'm currently on a vitamin D routine to kind of get back on track and making sure all my vitamins are at a good level. But yeah, like I had purchased nail stickers from Target, and I'm not going to talk about it too much because I want to show you guys later, but I thought it would be really fun to film it today because I just wanted to have something really relaxing and just like chill out. My anxiety has been terrible this whole week. Well, not really like this week, but the past like 2 weeks. I don't know like what it is. I think it might be because I had turned 34 this year, and also when I was looking at the calendar, it had been 2 years to this date, or to this week, that my grandma passed away. And she actually fell ill on my birthday, which is July 29th, and this was 2024. And she was ill for about a week, in like a comatose state, and she was basically, you know, in the process of passing away. And I don't know, like, I know, like, I took my time to grieve back then, but it's been kind of an emotional week. And I don't, like, when I make these videos or, like, these get ready with me's, I don't want to just, like, hide how I feel or avoid a certain topic. I feel like it's important to talk about these things because I know everyone goes through them. I know everyone has anxiety. I'm not alone in it. I'm not a weirdo or a freak for feeling the way that I feel, but it did get to me. It, like, just a few days ago, I was just, like, crying all day. I was cleaning my fridge, and then I started crying, and on my, I think it was, like, my Instagram stories, I had a notification that said 2 years ago from this date. It was, like, a flashback notification. I don't know what it's called. Where it says look back on your memories, and a picture of her popped up, and I just, like I was fine in the moment, and then a few days later I just start crying, like, and after that I was just, like, really emotional. So, like, when I say, like, my anxiety hasn't been great this week, like, it's just been, like, kind of, like, all over the place. So, and then we have, like, a trip coming up, and there was, like, a lot of planning, a lot of, like, cancellations, and, you know, just, like, trying to, like, scramble everything to get it booked. And it's just, like, when you add on, like, depression and, like, grieving process, I guess, even though it happened 2 years ago, like, I don't know, like, I feel like everyone deals with death differently. Like, it's not just, you know, oh, you're, like, it happened, you cry at the funeral, and then you just stop crying. Like, it kind of, like, comes in waves. And then during that time, and my grandma actually passed away 6 months after my aunt had passed away from cancer. So it's, like, still fresh in my mind, and it's still, like, the dates of both of them were so close that it's, like, you barely had time to recover from that first experience, because me and my family were at the hospital when it happened. It was actually really traumatizing, and that day still plays out in my head in nightmares, and which I'm not really gonna share because it's really disturbing, but it plays out kind of like a broken record. Like, there's bits and pieces of that day, or of even, like, in years past, like when she was, like, healthy. So it's been, like, really hard. So so just, like, forewarning you, if any of the videos that I post this week seem a little bit off, they're probably gonna end up being uploaded late, but that's okay. If I seem a little, like, puffy-eyed in the video, or just, like, really tired, that is kind of what I'm dealing with at the moment. I know it's gonna pass. So it's, like, very, I don't know, just, like, chaotic right now, I guess, for me, like, mentally chaotic. Like, there's just, like, a lot of mental chaos going on right now, and I know it's gonna pass. I did have a great birthday. My husband actually got me a cake from Bath and Body Works. I meant to say Baskin Robbins. He actually ordered it about, like, 2 months ago, and we ended up celebrating my birthday at my brother's house. And he was, like, he had gotten me, like, a full cake, so I have been eating, like, a lot of sugar this week. You know, it's my birthday. We only live once. Like, I did have, like, a good birthday. And I do like spending time with my family, so it's, like, it was, like, a good experience. But then, like, in the back of my mind, like, I guess I was thinking about my grandmother, and I wasn't sure why I was feeling depressed, like, a few days before my birthday, but it just kind of, like, felt, it just kind of felt I don't know what it is. I just didn't feel good, if that makes sense. So, like, what I'm doing now is I'm just trying to, like, keep myself into, like, a positive state of mind. Focus on the trip we have planned. Film YouTube videos. I want to get ahead of my YouTube videos because of that depression episode. I haven't really been, like, recording anything. And it just kind of happened out of nowhere, I guess. Sorry, I don't mean to, like, make that part really long, but I wanted to talk about the tornado. Because it's kind of funny, but it's also kind of not funny. So on July 14th of 2024, my husband was working from home. He was in his office on a phone with a client, and he had asked me if I could go do a run at Taco Bell, get some sodas at McDonald's. I had to go out anyway, so I figure, you know, I'm probably going to be hungry by the time I get home. And I was getting warnings on my phone from the weather alert, like in text messages. So it was going off a couple times. And I noticed in the first message it said severe weather in your area, you know, like a normal weather alert. Just like your basic stuff. It just said severe thunderstorm warning. And there was another one popped up that said very severe thunderstorm warning. And it was kind of like escalating. Like it said 40 miles per hour winds, and then it said damaging winds, hail, all that stuff. And I didn't think anything of it, because anytime the news like overreacts, I guess, they're most likely wrong. At least like in the state and the city that I live, like whenever it rains, whenever they say it rains, it ends up not raining. When it said severe thunderstorm warning, it's not as severe. So I didn't take it seriously. And I was just like, okay, whatever. I'm just gonna go home before monsoon, because the weather here in Arizona is a little scary. Because first of all, we don't really get tornadoes. We don't get hurricanes because we're not near the ocean. We don't get like twisters or anything like that, thank God. But we do get pretty bad monsoons, lots of lightning, especially like dry lightning. We also get hail and a lot of rain, and it is basically intense rain very quickly. Like you could be like looking out the window and it's a clear day, and then all of a sudden you get a weather alert on your phone, and then you get like a sheet of rain coming at you. You also get really bad dust storms right before the monsoon hits. So it's like, it's intense at once, but overall it's not really like as bad. So, you know, and like I've been in Arizona for like my whole life, which is, you know, in 34 years I've never really experienced a tornado. Never experienced anything crazy. Growing up there was pretty bad monsoons, but other than that, it wasn't super bad. It was just a lot of lightning and thunder, you know. So anyway, I'm at McDonald's and I'm just grabbing soda, and I noticed that the wind starts picking up and the sky is just like a dark blue. And as I was leaving the McDonald's, I inch out a little bit and I start seeing a lot of debris on the roads. I also see like a bunch of, oh my god, what do you call those? Oh my god, my mind is spacing. What do you call those? Like tumbleweeds. I start seeing a lot of tumbleweeds, and they actually start making me laugh because it just reminds me of like a stupid cartoon. But I saw a bunch of those. And then I was just kind of like paying attention to how the wind was. Like it was pretty like creepy because the clouds were going in front of the sun, and it was like about to storm kind of vibe. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go home. But something was wrong. I look up at the sky and it was a pitch black. And the wind was pretty crazy. It had just started picking up. And I was like, something is wrong. That does not look normal. It was pitch black. I have never seen a black sky like that in my life. And the cloud, I'm gonna insert the photo here, but it was as if it was one full cloud above where I was. And I was just like, oh my God, something feels weird about this. Like, I couldn't get over that feeling. And the wind, I don't know, like, if there was something in the air or something, but like, I just sensed doom. And I do have a pretty good, like, sense of, I guess maybe I can be a little bit clairvoyant. Like, I'm really good at, like, sensing if something's wrong. I have, like, really good, I guess, like, intuition or something. It's just something that I've always, like, had. And there was just something in the pit of my stomach that said, go home right now. Something's wrong. And then my anxiety started to settle in. I started to get a little bit shaky, and I was paying attention to the weather. We live 5 minutes away from the fast food chains in our area. 5 minutes, okay? With traffic, it's probably 8 minutes that it takes for me from that fast food chain to where I live. And then with traffic, it probably takes me 8 minutes to get home. Between me pulling out of the McDonald's and me driving home, I end up getting a little caught in traffic. The sky, there was basically an orange cloud of dust that was hovering above where I was. It was huge. Like, it was the biggest dust storm I've ever seen. I'm like, damn, like, that's crazy. I've never really been stuck in one, but sometimes you'll, like, get them on the freeway, and they're really scary because it's just a bunch of dust and a lot of wind, and they're really intense. And all of a sudden, I look ahead at the stoplight, and all I saw was a white sheet. And I look, and I'm like, holy, is that rain? Like, that, it was like a full white sheet. And it was coming closer and closer, and I could see that it was rain, because I was looking at the ground. I was analyzing everything, okay? I had a sense of, like, fight or flight. I was stuck in traffic, and basically the cars, I mean, even when the light turned green, the cars didn't move, because the sheet of rain came so quick, like, really quickly this way. And I couldn't see anything. I couldn't see the car in front of me. It was really windy. My car started shaking. And I was by myself. My husband was at home. I was literally freaking out in the middle of traffic. And I started hyperventilating. I couldn't breathe, and I started to, like, breathe really quickly. I got dizzy, and I was like, oh my God, I need to call my husband. But as I was reaching for my phone, my husband was actually calling me. So he called me right before I was about to call him. And he's like, babe, whatever you're doing, get home right now. First of all, are you okay right now? And I'm like, Trevor, something's wrong. I don't know, like, I've never seen this before. There's a lot of rain. All the cars are stopped and no one's moving because you could not see anything in front of you. And I was like freaking out. He's like, okay, babe, just get home safely. Be careful. Our awning is in front of the house. And I'm like, what? Like, at that point, I was like, it was done. Panic attack started. I'm like, Trevor, something's wrong. I was like crying. I was like freaking the F out. I was really terrified. Our awning in the backyard was in the front of the house, and he said the electricity was out. And he's like, get home right now. This wind is really crazy. I can't log it back into work because we have no power. And I'm like, okay, well, I just like drive home, and the wind starts getting so intense. I start seeing the sky things moving like in a circle like this, and it went like in a really perfect circle. And I'm like, this is a tornado. Like, this is a tornado. This is not normal weather. I have never seen anything like this in my 34 years being here. And at that point, I was ballistic. I was like, oh my God, it's like the end of the world. Like, what the hell is happening? I was shaking. I started screaming because as I was driving home and into my neighborhood, there was things that were hitting my car so hard that I felt like I was causing damage to my car. And obviously, who cares about the car? Like, I cared about my own safety, okay? Like, I was like crazy. And you know, all the palm trees were like on the ground, like the dried ones. I saw like one palm tree get completely bald. Like, all of this little leaves started falling off, and I was like, oh my God, like I was overstimulated. I was crying, I was freaking out. And I laugh now because I know it can be dramatic. I'm a very much emotional, sensitive person with anxiety, so it's like I can't help how I react sometimes, especially when I'm having a panic attack. And basically, I had our Taco Bell food, and I called my husband. I'm like, babe, get out here, please. The wind is really bad. I need help. I need help. I also had bags of Dollar Tree stuff, and I had paid like $30 for the Taco Bell order, and I was like, I need to get this with me. And my husband at this point was actually terrified. I could see it in his face. He was white as a ghost, and I knew right then and there he was scared too.
So basically what happened on that day is I was working, I was talking with the client, and I had told the client, you know, hey, there's a big storm here. I live in Arizona, so if the connection goes out, as soon as I get the connection back, I'm going to call you right back. And the customer's like, okay, perfect. Of course, immediately after I say that, the power goes out. And I'm like, okay, I'll call her back in just a few moments. Because the power came back on, my router was rebooting, and I'm like, everything's okay. Suddenly, I hear a loud clash, and I look outside, and our backyard awning is now in our front yard. And then the power just goes completely out. So then I call Britt here, and I'm just like, hey, just so you know, our awning flew off. And all I hear is silence for a minute, and then, oh my God! And she's driving home, and, you know, I see her outside. She's like, help me. And I go outside, and I'm just like, okay. She honks, and she tells, get in! And I get in the car, and we're just sitting there, Taco Bell in our hands.
Talk about how there were shingles hitting my face, and my glasses were like up to here.
I will. And then, are you still recording?
Yeah.
And then, like, she's just like, go! And, you know, I get out of the car, and the rain is just splashing on us, and then she gets out of the car, a shingle hits her right in the face from that.
And that's when I think I started screaming.
Yeah, you started screaming and crying, and it was literally less than 30 seconds that we were outside, and we walked inside, we were dripping wet, soaking. It was horrible. It was the worst rain that I had ever seen, and I was just like, wow, how is this possible? But it was just intense, and we were like trying to, you know, we were trying to like gather the animal, and we're like, you know, in the room, come on. And they kept trying to escape, so we had to keep grabbing them. And then like I'm out there, and our awning post is just banging against the window, and I'm thinking, oh shoot, that's gonna break. But it didn't, so thank God for that. But it was very messy, very wet, and it was just a big mess after that.
And how was I?
Oh, you were a mess. You were a crying mess. It was like, this is the end of the world. We're all gonna die. You know, calling your mom and saying, help me. And your mom's like, I'm in Texas. How can I help you? Yeah. And yeah, that was That was not fun.
So then basically as I pulled into the door, he comes out, and as I open the door, strong wind gusts start happening like around me. And right behind my house, I saw all of that like tornado, like things spinning. You could see you can see the shingles of other people's houses in the sky. Like there was so much debris in the sky, and I'm like, what the F is this? Like, what the hell? And in that moment, I thought it was the end of the world. Seriously. That's how deep I got into this like panic attack. And shingles were hitting my face, my glasses got soaked in rain. It was like strong hail. It was like really, really cold. It was just crazy. And I was basically in the middle of it. Actually, I had just driven through the middle of it, but this was just the beginning. So I opened the door, and that's like when it just got more intense. I started screaming at the top of my lungs. And you know what? It was so crazy that like I couldn't hear my husband in front of me. I couldn't even hear my screaming. But I couldn't see anything because my glasses were drenched in rain. And then I looked back at the car seat, and I'm like, I have to grab this Taco Bell order because we need food. Like, we paid $30 for this. I need to get my food. Like, we're hungry, but then I'm like in danger. So what do? I look over at the seat next to me, and I grab my Taco Bell order. It's like I almost did a double take. Grab the food, let it rot, or like go inside, or like get the food and run inside. I mean, I don't know, like I was just ballistic. And I actually called my mom. I mean, I feel really bad for my mom. In the moment I was freaking out, and I just needed someone at the time. I mean, my husband was there, but like I said, Mom, like something's wrong. And at this point I was crying, full blown panic attack. On my FaceTime, I actually hit FaceTime, and I could see her glasses, and her eyes were like huge, like she didn't know what was happening. She said, Mom, something's wrong. This weather's really bad. I think it's a tornado. I mean, I only remember that part. I don't remember anything else, but I started crying and freaking out. And I remember my mom saying, get inside, Brittany, and it was just like intense. And as I got inside, we're like, you know what? Get the cats in the bathroom. Trevor, what do we do? And we actually do live in a manufactured home. So taking that into account, I was worried that because of how strong the wind was, it was going to basically take us away or like kill us, Like, I was like terrified. You hear all these horror stories of like tornadoes taking a whole mobile home and just like it's like gone, like. And I was like so scared. And basically the shingles that were hitting my face outside were the shingles from our roof. The wind like destroyed our roof. And when I was inside, we were freaking out trying to gather the cats, and we're like, shit, like, should we hide in the tub? Like, do we go in the bedroom because there's less windows? We're just like trying to figure out what to do. And like Trevor was in the middle of the living room, and the rain was crazy. Like, you couldn't see anything in front of it. You couldn't see outside. All you saw was like a white sheet of wet and rain, and it was so loud, and you could hear debris and branches from the tree, from other people's trees, hitting all the sides of the house. And it was so loud. I'm like, oh my God, we're done. We're gonna die here. Like, this is it. It's like the end of the world or something. Like, we're done. Like, I was like praying. I was screaming at my husband. I'm like, Trevor, what do we do? Like, I don't know, like I don't know how we're gonna survive this. Like, I was just a mess. So we ended up getting the cats in the bedroom, and it went on like that for 15 full minutes. We were actually in the living room and we're just kind of looking outside and we're thinking, okay, like, I feel like we need to do something, but I don't know what. And all of a sudden, there was a lot of rain that came through the windows. Kind of hard to explain, but they weren't coming from the window sills. They were coming from our roof and the very top of the windowsill. And it started flooding. It started flooding inside the house. All along the right side of our house started flooding, and you could see like the water on the floor. And I'm like, oh my god, it's coming inside. You know, and I think it's because the wind was, the way it was blowing, the rain was getting under our shingles, and our shingles were probably going up and down. It actually caused 3 holes in our roof. It was just terrible. And after, I think it was like 30 minutes, it completely died down. My brother actually called and checked on me, and then my mom called. And I know that she was worried because she lives in another state. And then we went outside, and our neighbors were looking around, and they're like, "Are you guys okay?" And we're just like, "Yeah, like we're fine." And like the way the guy looked, like his face, I haven't seen him before. He wasn't our next door neighbor, but he was from around the area. It looked like a hurricane went through our neighborhood. It was devastating. Like someone's roof, half of their roof was completely off. Our shingles were all over the front of the house. Our tree bent. Our large tree in front of the house kind of tilted this way. It's actually a very sturdy, strong tree. But I was worried that it was going to uproot completely. It was like debris, shingles. There was 2 awnings from neighbors down the street in the front of the road. And all like the alleyways in between the houses were flooded. And it was just an absolute disaster. And the neighbors had like a tent. I think they use it to like cover the car. That was gone. And we looked to our left and it's like, oh, so there's no fence. Our house is surrounded by a fence, right? Well, this side of the house, I think it was like the left side of the house. We had fence from going from the front of the yard all the way to the backyard, and it kind of wraps around our house. It was, I mean, it wasn't like gone, but it was like the wood panels were on the ground. A majority of it was missing. They may have ended up in someone else's backyard or something, I don't know. But it was like devastating. Branches everywhere, like trash. It was awful. But I lived through it. And that was basically my tornado story time. And we did look up the news earlier, and we found out that on our side of town there was a Ace Hardware. The entire wall was tilted over, and you can still see like the products on the shelves. And I'll go ahead and insert the picture here, but that is just like absolutely crazy. And then I went on Facebook and I was reading how like our side of the town got like destroyed, and yeah, that like mini tornado like damaged a lot in our area, and that was just like the scariest thing I've ever been through. And that's basically what happened to me. I kind of wanted to get that out before I start my makeup tutorial because I can't focus on 2 things at once. But yeah, that was absolutely terrifying, and to this day, crazy wind does get to me because of that experience. And it happened a little bit today, but the wind fortunately died down, so I think we're safe. Hey guys, so it's actually the next day. I took a break during that last clip and we ended up having to go to the store for something. I got distracted and I ended up like not filming that makeup clip, but I'm here now and we're gonna sit down and do makeup. And I already know I showed these eye masks, but you know what? These Dollar Tree eye masks from Splash, the ones that are in the jelly version, are so good. I like them better than the other ones that they came out with. So if you do see these, get the jelly ones, and then there's also like a blue jelly one. Those are pretty good. They're like really thick, and I mean this one did break a little bit, but they're thicker than the other ones. I think one of them was like a vitamin C, and then there was like another one. Those weren't really that good. But these I really like because I actually do feel like they're really refreshing. So we're gonna take that off. Yeah, I ended up painting my nails and I really love this color. I only used this nail polish a few times, but it is the SE 1040. I don't have the name of it, but this is what it looks like. This is really old, but kind of has a purpley grayish tone to it, and it's just really pretty. I feel like it's perfect for the fall time. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm waiting for the fall time. That's like my favorite season. And you know, Halloween, like it makes me really happy. I can't wait for the colder months. You know, based on the way the weather has been, I'm sure everyone is excited for the fall time. And I'm actually gonna be getting ready to go to Dollar Tree today because I need some retail therapy. For today's drink, I'm drinking my Alani Cherry Slush Energy drink. And then I have a cup of ice here. So when we were at Walmart the other day, I saw that they have a new cotton candy Alani. And I'm really curious to try it. Let me know in the comments if you guys have tried that flavor. I try my best not to consume too many energy drinks because I know they're not really like healthy for you, but this one right here is sugar free and it does have vitamins in it, but I keep seeing on social media that Alani has like bad side effects to women's like reproductive system, and it basically messes up your hormones or something. So it's kind of like I might have to wean myself off of it because I don't want to have any health problems from it. I feel like anything good these days, it's not safe for your body, which is kind of irritating because I just want to have something that's healthy and like sugar free but gives me energy when I don't want coffee. And I actually did have coffee earlier today. I ended up taking a nap and then I woke up and I just feel mentally drained. Like I feel exhausted, emotionally I'm exhausted. And Alani really helps like with my energy levels. So I actually do have a surprise Walmart haul. I didn't get that many things, so it wouldn't have been worth it to do a video, but I'm gonna share everything that I got. I needed some new dandruff shampoo, and Suave has their anti-dandruff shampoo, and I haven't tried this yet. And this is, I think this is a new thing. It was only like $3. And I didn't mean to get the 2-in-1. I meant to just get the shampoo. I don't like the 2-in-1s because I feel like my hair doesn't get as clean. And then I got some new mouthwash. I picked up the TheraBreath Anti-Cavity Mint mouthwash. This is really good. Kind of pricey, but it's really healthy for your teeth because it has no alcohol in it. And then I picked up the Thayers Hydrating Milky Toner, and this is a toner I was talking about in my other video. You know, I'm going to use this today because why not? I can't wait to use it. I ran out of the Dermasol Labs Dollar Tree Oatmeal Toner. Like, I only have the serum and the like, I only have this serum left, but I wanted to try this one right here because I've been seeing some really good reviews on TikTok. So we might use both of them today. And then this one's so exciting. I can't believe I caught this. So in the clearance section in the makeup aisle, they had the Lizzie Mcquire blushes on clearance for $4 each. I was gonna buy them when I got the palette, but I was kind of like watching my money around that time, so I was like, I'm just gonna get the eye palette instead. And I know they're cream blushes, I know they're not gonna last long, but I was like, okay, for $4, I mean, come on, I need them in my life. And it is Lizzie Mcquire packaging, so it's, you know, that was like my favorite childhood show growing up, and I couldn't pass it up. This is just like so cute. So this one is purple. And then it has like a protective cover on it. I'm going to save this right here for my scrapbooking. It would be so fun to do like a little like Lizzie Mcquire page. I plan on doing a 90s scrapbook with all my old like childhood pictures, using like 90s like gift bags and like packaging, and this will be perfect. But I don't know how I would like apply that on a packaging. I guess I could like put tape over it. I don't know if glue would work, but then we have the orange one here. And you know, we're gonna swatch both of them. Ooh, that's beautiful. I love that. And then we have the purple blush in Daydreamer. And then when you swirl it around, it kind of turns purple. Oh wow, she is bright. So we're gonna use one of them. I'm not sure which, but for sure we have to dig back into the Lizzie Mcquire palette. And then to start off, I'm gonna be using the Thayers Hydrating Milky Toner. This has snow mushroom and hyaluronic acid, and this is supposed to purify and prep your skin and improve the skin barrier. This is good for normal to dry skin, and it is fragrance free. Ooh, this is really thick. So right off the bat, this is really hydrating. It's very thick too, and it feels very serum-like. Yeah, and it does feel really moisturizing. That's a really nice toner. This was only $10, which is not at all a bad deal. And you do get quite a bit in here. I feel like this will last me maybe a year because you get a lot. On the back, it says, our Milky Hydrating Formula blends snow mushroom and hyaluronic acid while hydrating skin for up to 48 hours and instantly boosting moisture levels by 35%. Each swipe gently removes impurities, hydrates, and cushions for smooth, dewy, prepped skin. Use after cleansing to amplify a skincare routine. Follow up with a moisturizer. So yeah, that's a pretty good toner. Over that, I'm going to use the Dermasol Labs Oat Milk Restorative Face Serum, and this also has snow mushroom in it. And I have used this serum before, and I really love it. Okay, and then for my face today, I just used the Goat's Milk Day Cream. This is the Defanti brand. And this is a new day cream for me. I finished my Neutrogena one, and I want to use this one. I got this from TJ Maxx a few months ago. And I have to remember to use my TJ Maxx skincare products first, only because they are already like technically expired. I tend to hoard onto like beauty products and stuff and like skincare. I need to stop doing that. I need to actually like use my stuff. And then in the last clip, I had used the Pore Patrol toner, and I don't know. This is okay. This is only $125, so I don't know. The smell is really weird. It just smells like vintage perfume. I don't know. I feel like it's kind of like made for like younger, like teenagers or something. But of course, I like to test things out for you guys, so I'm always buying the new Dollar Tree skincare products. This product right here, you probably don't need it. You know, if you're looking for something like fun, like maybe you like scents and fragrance like I do, then you'll probably like this, but it's okay. Like, I don't feel it's supposed to control the oil, minimize pores, and fight breakouts. It has hyaluronic acid, niacinamide, vitamin C. I don't know, like I know you can't tell the immediate difference with one use, but I would probably say you could pass on this one. There's better toners at Dollar Tree for sure. You know, that's just me being honest. I will probably use this up, but I will not buy again. And that is just after trying it once. And then for my makeup primer today, I am using my Be Pure gel primer, and this is a pretty nice primer. I mean, it's really small, you don't get a lot, but for $1.25, I probably use this about 10 times. It does have a little bit of a cooling effect, and it does smell a little bit like menthol or something. My Dollar Tree actually just stocked this recently. So today's palette, we're going to be using the Lizzie Mcquire Dear Diary palette from Profusion. You have really beautiful pastel, spring, summertime kind of shades. And these are pretty light. They're not as pigmented as other palettes in my collection. But I really like the concept of it because it's, of course, Lizzie Mcquire. So for today's look, I'm kind of feeling like I want to play around with the greens and the pinks, because I am wearing my green and pink shirt today. So I'm going to start off by using the shade Outfit Remember. And this is a pastel green shade. And I am going to put that on the outer corner. And the brush I'm using is the Miss A E150 brush. Wow, this is like neon green. This is insane. And I think for today's look, I'm going to kind of keep it simple today. And I really want to use pink. So for today's look, it's going to be fairly simple today. I think I'm going to use the pink shade. You know what? I'm going to add in a little bit of blue. So we're going to go in with the shade Hottie Alert. And I'm just going to kind of dab that in. It's kind of muting down that green. And then with my fluffy brush, I'm just going to blend out that shade. And then next we're going to be taking this shade right here in Outfit Repeater. And we are going to be putting that on the inner corner. Oh my god, that is so pretty. I love how colorful this looks. Like, I know we added like just the blue on the top, but it just looks like so pretty. And then you kind of get like kind of like a lilac purple with that pink mixing with the green. I mean, my screen looks like it's purple, but I don't know how it's gonna look to you guys. And then going in with my finger, I'm going to be using the shimmer shade in Totally Lizzie. And we're going to be putting that on the inner corner. And then I think we're gonna go crazy and put the yellow shimmer on top of that green. I really wish there was a green shimmer. But we're gonna see how that yellow turns out. That looks really pretty. And you know what? I'm actually going to be taking this brush and dip into that yellow shimmer. And I'm going to be applying that above my eyeshadow. Yeah, I love this. Okay, and then for under my eye, I think I'm gonna do the green. So we're gonna go back in with the outfit repeater. And then for my eyeliner, I'm going to be taking my Wet n Wild Chameleon Chrome eyeliner in Superstar Suit. So for the blushes, I'm kind of leaning towards the orange, but then I feel like this one would match better. I don't know which one to go for. Like, I know we're still in the summertime, but then part of me wants to break out my oranges. Why is this so hard to choose? Okay, so I'm not gonna go with this one. I think I'm gonna go with a purple one. But we're definitely gonna have to play with that orange blush coming up. Maybe if I do a neutral look. And this blush right here is definitely pigmented. So a little goes a long way. But this blush is very, very creamy and buildable. So this is me like barely dipping into that. I'm just gonna kind of even it out a little more. So for my powder today, I'm using my Tarte Smooth Operator. We're just putting that all over the face. And this is a powder that I'm trying to use up because I took this with me on multiple vacations. This is really old and I do have to buy a new powder coming up. Actually, you know what? I don't have to buy a new powder. I might end up taking my elf powder with me. I'm gonna have to figure that out. It's like still last minute booking we have to do and I'm trying to like to watch my money. Like we do have money saved, but I just want to make sure, you know, we have everything set. I'm gonna try my best not to buy like brand new makeup. Because anytime we go on vacation, I always buy like brand new makeup. Like I buy a new mascara. Sometimes I'll buy a full-blown eyeshadow palette, foundation, all that stuff. I don't know why I do that. I think it's just kind of like out of habit. But I need to stop like doing that. But for sure I need to buy new mascara. I'm probably gonna buy the Maybelline Sky High mascara. What I just noticed, I did buy new makeup for the trip. I went to Ulta. Well, I didn't go to Ulta. I ordered it online on Ulta.com and I did buy a mini travel palette. I actually had a reason for doing that, so it wasn't like me buying things just to buy things. Oh my god, did I not film that haul either? It's actually sitting on my shelf back there, but I did buy a new palette and I also bought a travel palette. But I do have like last minute things that I need to get. I want to go to the thrift store and I want to try to see if I can find a purse. Because I only own like one purse and I want to get something that's like travel friendly. Because the one that I have currently, it kind of like falls off of the strap, like that little keychain part. I don't know what it's called. It's like a little clasp. It keeps falling apart. So I'm gonna have to see if I can find a new bag. Because I want to have like a little purse that I can take with me that's like small and compact, but it can still hold enough things like my wallet and all that stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure it out. I'm going to be using the Kokie lip stain in the shade Serenade. And this I got from Dollar Tree a few months ago. Okay, that is so pretty. I love a good neutral lip. Because I don't have to think of the colors and I can just, I feel like it matches everything. So that is the completed look. I'm not really wearing a highlighter today because I don't really feel like doing any extra steps. But this blush, I mean, look at how it kind of like muted itself. I was a little worried when I put it on, but it's like really muted. And I love that. That's such, it's such like a creamy blush and I cannot wait to use the orange one. I think these two are going to be a good transitional blush too for the fall time. I mean, these are pretty much good for like every day because they're very like neutral. They're not super like, they're not super crazy, but I'm gonna use this one in another video. But that's all for today's video. I hope you guys like my video. I know it's kind of like a little bit scattered, But, you know, today I feel so much better. And I don't know if it's just because I was venting yesterday and just getting out, you know, everything that's been like on my mind recently, but I do feel better. I'm gonna be doing some budget shopping today just to kind of get myself pepped up for my trip coming up. And you know, like, it's okay to have like bad days. It's okay to cry some days. Um as long as you make sure that, you know, you like take care of yourself, put on makeup if you feel bad. Like, I can tell you, even just putting on makeup today, I feel like even better. Like, I woke up feeling a lot better, but now that I have my makeup done, I'm ready to go out of the house. I have to get some grocery shopping done, and at the beginning of the day, I was like, God, I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I can go grocery shopping because I didn't want to physically move my body like out of the house because I had been feeling so low. But I feel better now. So it's just like the little things that help when you're like depressed or super anxious. You know, Dollar Tree is affordable. If you have to buy like new skincare or new makeup at Dollar Tree, if it's not gonna hurt your budget, then go for it, because that's what I'm gonna do. So stay tuned for another Dollar Tree haul. Yeah, thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you guys stay safe out there, especially with all of the crazy weather America has been getting, like the heat wave and the intense flooding. Just stay safe. Be aware of your surroundings. Turn around, don't drown. And you know what? Make sure you hug your cats. Make sure you are nice to people. Make sure you treat yourself with kindness and love. Because at the end of the day, you're all you have. There's no one out there that knows you better than you know yourself. So just like treat yourself with kindness, and that's all I have for today. Please consider subscribing to my channel if you want to see more like craziness on my channel. I do try to keep things realistic. I don't want to be like fake for views or fake for like the camera. You know, like, it's okay to have bad mental health days, and you know, sometimes it's good to vent. Sometimes it's good to talk things out of your soul. Sometimes I do feel like I might be sharing too much, but at the same time, there's always a part of me that is just like, what if someone like is having a bad week too, or maybe they need to find someone to relate to their issues, like if they're grieving, if they're depressed. So like, why hide it? You know what I mean? But I do want to keep things positive on my channel because makeup makes me happy. It makes you guys happy. I love doing hauls for you guys, and I really love this channel. I feel like this channel is like my reason for getting up in the morning. Like, I look forward to it. I love talking to you guys through the comments. It's just like overall like such a positive thing in my life right now. I mean, aside from, you know, my husband and my cats, but this channel really does mean a lot to me. So if you made it this far, thank you so much for listening, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.